History of the Louisiana Purchase Exposition, 1904. The exposition of the world as a discovery, a matter of marvel. It passed into history with a practically unanimous verdict by writers as the greatest of expositions, as better entitled to be called a universal exposition than its predecessor. Under the spreading roof of the palaces of manufacturers and varied industries, 900 industries found expression. Miles of aisles were bordered by exhibits utilitarian, exhibits artistic. The house beautiful, the house comfortable, the things useful, and the person adorned were exemplified. 2 lessons were taught to the thousands of visitors who daily wandered over the 28 acres embraced within these 2 buildings. The luxuries of life for the few in the 19th century may become the utilities of life for the many in the 20th. The artistic and the beautiful are no longer beyond the reach of those moderately circumstanced. From Old Ironsides to St. Louis, the history of the steam locomotive in this country was told in the exhibits of the Transportation Department. If travel is educational, how shall be estimated the benefits afforded the almost 20 millions of visitors by the Philippine Exposition, occupying 35 acres and including the epitome, the resources, the industries, the government, and the life of the archipelago, by Jerusalem with its reproduction of the sacred and historic structures of the Holy City, by the Tyrol with its alpine scenery, by the Kraal from South Africa, by the cliff-dwelling community, by the bazaars of Istanbul, by the streets of Cairo, by India, by fair Japan, by the Chinese village. The exposition was immense. It was grand as a whole. It was beautiful in detail.
When Louis came home to the flat, he hung up his coat and his hat. He gazed all around, but no wifey he found, so he said, "Where can Flossie be at?" A note on the table he spied. He read it just once and he cried. It ran, "Louis dear, it's too slow for me here, so I think I will go for a ride." Meet me in St. Louis, Louis, meet me at the fair. Don't tell me the lights are shining any place but there. We will dance the hoochie coochie. I will be your tootsie wootsie if you will meet me in St. Louis, Louis, meet me at the fair. Blue Woods was the name of a horse that ran at the New Orleans course. I played him one day for $1 each way, and I charged it to profit and loss. He started to run in the wet. The son of a gun's running yet. That crazy old skate, he made straight for the gate, and I hollered, "Hey Lou, don't forget." Meet me in St. Louis, Louis, meet me at the fair. Take my tip and don't stop running until you are there. You're a wonder that's no light ski if you don't fall down and die ski. So meet me in St. Louis, Louis, meet me at the fair. In church sat a man near the door. Asleep he was starting to snore. The minister rose and he said, "We will close, singing meet on the beautiful shore." The man in the back then awoke. He caught the last words that he spoke. He said, "Parson White, you can meet me all right, but the beautiful shore is a joke." Meet me in St. Louis, Louis, meet me at the fair. Don't tell me the lights are shining any place but there. I'll be waiting at the station for the whole darn congregation. So meet me in St. Louis, Louis, meet me at the fair.
Greatest fair in world's history is now but a name. St. Louis Republic, 2nd December, 1904. President Francis turns key on switchboard at midnight in presence of large assembly and as the lights fade away, the Louisiana Purchase Exposition passes out of existence. St. Louis pays tribute to man who made the show famous. Farewell, a long farewell to all your splendor. Paraphrasing Cardinal Wolsey's famous soliloquy, President Francis used these words last midnight as he turned the lever that quenched the glowing lights on the World's Fair buildings and left all the site, save the Pike, in darkness. The dramatic ceremony of closing the fair promptly at midnight, with the time named in the Act of Congress, was performed by the President in the presence of the Board of Directors and an enormous throng that stood in the Plaza St. Louis. President Francis stood at the base of the Louisiana Monument, facing the Cascades and the glorious spectacle of Art Hill. Before him was a switchboard. The turn of a single lever put the entire exposition, save only the Pike, in shadow such as it knew before the opening of the World's Fair 7 months ago. Admissions were about $18,700,000. Total expenditures placed at $44,500,000, including the amount spent by the Exposition Company, states, foreign countries, and concessions.
When Louis came home to the flat, he hung up his coat and his hat. He gazed all around, but no wifey he found, so he said, "Where can Flossie be at?" A note on the table he spied. He read it just once and he cried. It ran, "Louis dear, it's too slow for me here, so I think I will go for a ride. Meet me in St. Louis, Louis, meet me at the fair. Don't tell me the lights are shining any place but there. We will dance the hoochie coochie. I will be your tootsie wootsie if you will meet